business. Okay, cool. All right. So started my Krishna consciousness journey as well as entrepreneurship journey in Chicago as a student and as an engineer, became an entrepreneur and have been both ever since. So while being in college activities, I learned the use of social media and was able to get students from various backgrounds, Western, Chinese, Indians, and cater to the content, the need, and the relevancy for them. Use the same principles in my businesses, and they were very, very successful as well. Just going to quickly go through, Kolkata Ventures is my current company where we incubate startups, fund them, and grow them, and many of them are devotee entrepreneurs. I'm a guest faculty at multiple universities in India as well as US. And I'm saying all this to impress you because it's important. It's an important principle of marketing. The first thing, ethos, is about actually establishing our personal credential. So when Srila Prabhupada came to America, his clothes, his age, his knowledge, all of that were his credentials, which is what initially, at least people like, okay, he's different. He seems believable. What he says makes sense. And then comes the pathos part, which is the emotional aspect, the storytelling aspect, the feeling aspect. Oh, he's loving, he's kind, he cares. And the logical part, logos, which is basically, it makes sense, right? We know here's the logic. So all three are important in our storytelling in social media. So social media is not just hit the boost button, pay for Facebook ads, and you're done. It's a lot more before that happens. And that's what I'm going to talk about most, because it applies to social media as much as to our outreach programs, our Sunday Feast programs, and everything else where we are communicating and marketing. So what Lord Chaitanya did with Harinam Sankirtan, what Srila Prabhupada continued in the West, today it's a little difficult to get their attention because everybody is on their devices. And so we are basically talking about this subject because we want to be in those devices and we want to bring the Sankirtan movement into the virtual world where people are living right now. So I want to quickly understand who I'm speaking with. So in the chat box, if you can very kindly just tell me from 1 to 10, how social media savvy are you? 1 being, I don't know what Facebook, YouTube is, and 10 being, I'm running ads and I'm posting every week, So between 1 to 10, how would you rate yourself? Okay. This is a very qualified group. Good. I was one time in the UK talking to a group of leaders who had never heard of Facebook. They asked me to talk about it. Okay. All right, got it. Okay, we have 1 and 0, a couple of 1 and 0s. Okay, so I will go a little more detailed then for some of us. So Facebook is complete time waster, right? I have 5 minutes, I'm stressed out, and I just want to waste time. That's what Facebook and Instagram is for. Instagram is for mostly millennials. Facebook is for everyone, from middle-aged housewives to kids to senior citizens. Everybody is on Facebook, just consuming content, swiping through. Now, there's a difference of speed with which we swipe. Please understand that. It's actually important. A teenager swipes at this speed. A 30-year-old might swipe a little slower. A 50-year-old would be actually reading most of the content, right? 50 plus, that's what it is. So if you want, so you need to know who you are targeting. If you're targeting the younger crowd, you better be out of the box, weird, crazy, funny, emotional, whatever it takes to grab them, to stop them, and show them what you have to show. the 40-plus-year-old, the 50-plus-year-olds are easier because they are more detail-oriented. They are not from this generation who doesn't have an attention span, right? So now going back to these, Facebook is for wasting time. Google, when people search on Google, they have an intent, right? When they're searching on YouTube, they have an intent. It's a search engine. So YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world after Google. So the intent is very clear. So people actually spend time when they see a content that they like, what they're searching for. If it is ISKCON discourse on Bhagavad Gita in Spanish, and they find somebody that looks trustworthy, Tilak and everything, they might actually watch that content, right? In the LinkedIn, it's business folks. So if you're doing corporate outreach, you're fundraising, you want to be trusted in the world of people who are in the corporate, who don't have time to waste, who mean business. This is a place to be, right? And that means if you're dealing with parenting, the parents are here. If you're dealing with, work-life balance, they're here. If you're talking about stress management, those folks are all here, right? Very serious platform and very, very effective platform. Now, do not upload duty pictures here, because that's not what this place is for. This is more about helping people be more productive, right? Facebook is more entertainment, education, getting people to get to know you. You're kind of being social, you're being friends, you're being casual. Instagram is you're being funny, you're showing off what you have, right? YouTube is more longer videos, longer content, where people are more committed. They're searching for you. When they find you, they stick with you, they watch you, they subscribe, they connect, and they stay, they keep coming back to you, right? It's a more committed audience. But it's very hard to come by because a lot of competition. And then there is WhatsApp, right? If you want to do project management for your temple, if you want to just make sure how your Bhakti Vriksha is doing, how the congregation is doing, there's a great place for daily inspirations or staying connected. Hey, how's your grandmother doing? All of that day-to-day stuff, right? So I'll pause for a second and just see, is there anybody confused about what these stand for? Anybody has any questions? If not, I will move on. You can always, if you're shy to ask, you can ask in the chat section as well. Moving on. We think we are all unique and different, but our behavior is predictable based on our past action. That's why artificial intelligence works so well. So there's a reason why you go on Facebook for just checking something and you get stuck for 45 minutes. Same with YouTube. Netflix knows what movie is 90% meant for you. How do they know? Because we are all very, very similarly designed beings. And as a result, artificial intelligence can actually box us, understand who we are, and show us the content that will keep us engaged. And we can't give up. We can't unstick ourselves from it. Vikas Pathak Prabhu is asking a question. Prabhuji, what do you think about Twitter? Twitter is more like ISKCON News, where you just broadcast, right? No one talks to you. You just broadcast. If you are a celebrity or a brand or a temple and you want people to just know and you don't want to hear back from them, that's your place to be. But if you want to build a relationship, a connect, that's where the other social media platforms I was talking about is more relevant. Again, if you're in PR and media, again, Twitter is a great place for that. Now, we need to understand how social media works. Before social media, there is a substance, that is ISKCON. What Prabhupada has given us, our Sunday feast, our Harinam, our philosophy, our food, our relationship, our lifestyle, all of that. Now, content and connect. So we create content, videos, pictures, text, excerpts, poetry from that, and in such a way that it connects with people. It connects with their needs and concerns. They say, I get that. Oh my God, that is so relevant. One time I was giving a tour of the temple, and this Western lady walked in, and she saw Shishi Kishore Kishori, and she said, "Who's that lady next to God?" I said, "That's the female version of God, Radharani." I always knew God had a female version. I can relate to that. I could say she's a feminist, but she was so happy to know that there's a female version of God, right? And that's the way I put it. And that's what social media is. You don't just say what Prabhupada said in 1965 in the same words. Just like Prabhupada took Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's words and Baladev Vidyabhushan's words and made it relevant to us, we have to make it relevant for today's generation. And that comes before we actually go on social media. So we can't compromise with our principles. We have ISKCON. We have a lot of things that we can make content out of. We create a content that is relevant for people, that people can say, wow, that's awesome. I didn't know that. Oh, vegetarian food does this to you. Oh, meditation can reduce blood for you, make your sleep better, whatever, right? So we create that's relevant, that wow factor, and we connect. And when somebody likes us, comments on us, we respond to them. That's the biggest part. There was a comment from, I think the Pope equivalent of the Jesuits in 1990s, who said, we don't have to be worried about any religious group, but it's the ISKCON people. They are the one who are connecting. They have great philosophy, but the good part is we will win because we follow up and they don't. So following up is very, very important. When somebody gives us their attention, we need to reciprocate and pull them in, have meaningful conversation. If somebody says, wow, those kachoris look amazing, you'll be like, thank you very much. Or you can say, would you like to have some next Sunday? We are open to all, 5:30 to 6:30. That's more what I'm talking about. It's being social on social media. So now here are some examples. There's actually ISKCON Utah, the ads we are running for the Love Feast, right? So there is the temple, the beautiful temple. There's Radha and Krishna, and it's music, meditation, dinner. Straight to the point, open to all. Yoga, right? Again, look at the graphic. It actually gets you, it makes you stop scrolling. Look at it. What is that? And very quickly, not too much text, not too much information, just straight to the point. It's a teaser. So you click, you read, and maybe you call, maybe you, ask questions, message, but you take some action. Here's an example of a webinar. These are actually paid webinars I do, just to get serious people, and money goes to Facebook and then to charity. But point is, it gets people on board who are serious. Once they hear 2 hours of a certain topic that is relevant to them, the next thing you know is they're in my Philosophy Friday group, where they're learning Bhagavad Gita every Friday, right? So just share a small story. There was a lady, she was in a hospital and she was scared. Her husband was dying and she saw an ad. Now Facebook knows she's scared and she's looking for some way of, fulfilling that need. So she saw my ad, which said how to overcome fear. I think this one only, and boost confidence. She immediately clicked on it, signed up for it, came on board, and she's still learning Bhagavad Gita. Her entire family has become devotee, right? So this actually works. I use Facebook's artificial intelligence to target people who are going through stress, trauma, difficulty, right? Those are the people, they sign up for it, they come on board, they pay, right? So sincere people, and before you know, they're in Bhagavad Gita class, their lives transformed, and everything is, how we want it. Now, personal branding is very important in social media. Without a person, a logo does not do justice. By nature, we are personalists. And as personalists, we connect with other beings, other persons, other faces, right? So we saw Srila Prabhupada, he actually, for these photo shoots, he orchestrated the whole thing, the velvet background and the books and him wearing the garland, what dhoti kurta he would wear. I heard from my spiritual master, the whole shoot was actually orchestrated by Prabhupada. He wanted to manifest himself as the founder Acharya. I hope this is not offensive. but this next picture is of Hitler. This is actually Hitler practicing at his home before a very, very important speech. And his photographer, he actually made his photographer take pictures from multiple angles of his gestures. And he would have him, actually, the photographer, he would ask him to like not delete, but burn the pictures, but the photographer didn't burn. And so we have some of those pictures available. But the point is, politicians do this all the time. Personal branding is very, very key. So when we see Shivram Maharaj or Raghunath Swami, going on social media and they're doing what they're doing, we see that there's a loyalty that's built in. And it doesn't have to be wearing saffron. You can be anybody. You can be Ajita and doing your thing, and people connect with people, right? Now, here is how the formula goes. I told you I'll make it into baby food. So this is what it is. Person plus the message creates the content. So for me, I am a tech entrepreneur. I am not the book distributor. I tried. I'm not very good at it. I'm not the mridanga player. I can't do a lot of the things that wonderful brahmacharis do. But for me, I can connect with corporate folks. I can speak to them in their language about Krishna consciousness. And they're like, this is interesting. Let me try this out. And that's my target audience, right? So person plus message is the content. We create the content that connects with people, and then there's engagement. So engagement means likes, shares, subscribe, right? So they somehow connect with you and they want to hear more of your messages. So they're saying basically, I don't want to forget you. I liked what you said on social media, and I want to keep hearing more about you whenever I open this app. That's called engagement. Now, engagement plus distribution is what goes viral. So let me explain that a little bit. So you have your content, that is great. You send it to some devotees, friends, and they're like, okay, this is awesome. You got 100 views, 500 views, okay, fine. But then you're missing out on the world. So there are ways of distributing a message. When you see this is a good content and it has the potential to get a lot of visibility, what you do is you take that content and you share it on LinkedIn in the way the LinkedIn world works, the corporate world works, right? The same content, you can make a video out of it, put it on YouTube. You can make an audio content out of it, put it on a podcast. You can actually turn it around and make it into a tweet, right? So you take some validation and then you pass it around. That's one. Now you see what social media is doing well for you, right? Which one is giving you the most reactions? And then you go viral with it. That means you get into groups and you start sharing, right? You tell your friends, hey, would you be so kind as to just comment? Because the moment somebody comments on your post, other people get notified in their group, in their universe, that, oh, so-and-so made a comment. So you just got access to 1,000 more people, 1,000 more people, 1,000 more people. So initially you might have to kind of push it to make it happen. Eventually the algorithm will understand and it'll give them that visibility. So once somebody sees your content, the algorithm of these social media engines will show it multiple times, thereby giving you the opportunity to create better content and get the visibility and keep them engaged. If they don't engage, they will not show again. Am I going too fast? Is it too much information? Is it okay? You can give me a yes, no, maybe in the chat.
May I ask a question, Prabhuji?
Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ajit Prabhu. It was so great to hear from you. Last year also we heard you're very keen to learn more from you. Thank you so much. One question you mentioned about the artificial intelligence. Can you explain how we can make use of it for our Facebook or some other media?
So let me ask you, who's your target audience?
All varieties, boys, children, youth, or our community, basically the community members. Okay. And it's
so understand different strokes for different folks. That's the first thing, right? So if it is teenagers, if it's kids, then different content for them. If it is corporate folks, 25 to 35, they have different problems. So different strokes for different folks. So you can't do the same thing for everyone. So artificial intelligence kicks in when somebody is spending time on your content. Whether they're commenting, spending a lot of time writing a comment, or liking or sharing, or asking you a question on Messenger, if they're spending time on your content, that means the engine understands, so if Joe Schmo likes your content, there are 10,000 other Joe Schmoes. Let me show it to them as well. Maybe they will like it as well, right? And if 300 of those out of the 10,000 actually click and watch, oh, I get it. There is something that hones down now, right? Okay, it seems like it's not 35 to 45. It's actually 35 to 37. Let me show more to those guys. So it kind of plays with your content and tries to see who's actually giving it attention, who's stopping the scroll, who's slowing down, right? And then it understands, this is your audience. Now, of course, pay to play. You can pay and you can target and you can go to the people exactly who you want to see the content. That is also there.
Can you explain how to pay that? We pay to the Google, and they will exclusively show this now.
That's a whole different topic altogether. But paid ads is basically where you're telling Facebook, hey, Facebook, I want people aged between such and such in this. So let me give an example of Charu Prabhu, right? Utah. So, okay, he's like Spanish Fork and this other temple, and they're in this periphery. So just in that area, I have geotagged it. Not people from Bangladesh. Most of your Facebook pages, you will see their Facebook likes from Bangladesh and India. That's not helpful to your temple, right? So when I'm paying for it, I'm actually geotagging it to that geographical area. So it's only those localites who get to see the ads, and I want them to take an action, right? So if it is sign up, book now, buy a ticket, message now, whatever it is, I can customize all of that. And Facebook will charge me for the visibility and the clicks and the actions. That's called Facebook ad, right? Google does the same thing. I can explain this further on a one-on-one session. So for everyone who's here, I'll be happy to give a 15-minute one-on-one session. And if you have individual questions, I'll be happy to take them. Oh, there are 16 questions already. All right. So I hope this part is clear, right? Personal branding, a person giving a message creates a content that connects, creates engagement. Engagement plus distribution goes viral, just like a fever or COVID, where, before you know, like lots and lots of people are talking about you or talking about the content, and you're getting huge visibility. Like my first TED Talk, it actually helped me create an entire Bhakti Vriksha online. That time Zoom wasn't there. It was Skype, 2013, right? I was like, I don't know what I'm speaking, God. But that TED Talk actually helped me create an online Bhakti Vriksha from all over the world. And they're still going on. They're learning Bhagavad Gita, Ishopanishad, and the whole Bhakti Shastri. It's fantastic. So that's what it means to be viral, that people you don't even intend, suddenly they're sharing with others and you don't even have control over it, and it's all over the internet. Now that happens with good things and bad things, right? A devotee does something wrong. Oh boy, we know how our sannyasis and GBCs have been heckled, unnecessarily. But good things go viral as well as negative things go viral as well. Now, what makes things share worthy? What would make people share your content, right? So being social means sharing things, sharing and caring. So being emotionally impactful in storytelling, what does that mean? That means I'm not just a radio show where I'm just telling you, oh, this is what Bhagavatam says, right? I need to be able to be in a way where somebody's watching me and they should feel I'm talking to them. I understand them. I can feel their pain, and I'm a friend, right? They're like, I get it, and we connect. You won't believe me how many love letters I get, right? How many women have crushes on me because they feel they know me. And it's like almost a right. They're like, I know everything about you. I've watched 300 videos of yours. I'm like, I don't know anything about you. And, but the point is that connectivity is very powerful, right? It can go in different directions, but I have also, brought in that loyalty that brings them closer to Krishna, right? Where they want to know more about Krishna. They join, they want to commit, right? So you're able to do that without, while you're sleeping, somebody's watching your video and they're connecting with you, they're connecting with your content, and they're coming closer to Krishna. And before you know, they have a basic understanding of what Krishna consciousness is. Now they want to go deeper, right? That's what courses are all about. You create Bhagavad Gita courses. Many devotees have done that, and it has helped people tremendously, and they want to take the next step. There should be a surprise element, social proof. Social proof means so-and-so is doing it, you should too. There's 10,000 other people doing it, you should too. Like Prabhupada, where he was asked, how many disciples do you have? I have 10,000 disciples, right? Social proof. Presentable look. It's important that we know how we carry ourselves. I'm not saying that you have to wear a Rolex watch and this and that, but being presentable. Local language always helps. If we are speaking without translation, or a local person is speaking to a local audience, that is always more effective than an English-speaking audience talking to a non-English-speaking audience, right? And command to action. Basically, I'm giving you something to hold on to. Like, if you do this, you can email me and I'll send you a free Bhagavad Gita, or you do that and I'm going to, give you a meditation lesson. I used to do this little, on Craigslist. So this was like social media was brand new. So it wasn't as sophisticated as it today. So on Craigslist, you're all Americans, you know this. On Craigslist, I would put up listener to you. I'll anonymously listen to you. And if you want to meet, I'll be happy to give you a meditation lesson. Any Tom, Dick, and Harry would call me, talk about their issues with obesity, with sexual orientation, with financial problems and whatnot. I would just listen, right? And eventually they would build trust and they'd be like, I want to meet you. I want to know more about spirituality. And I'm like, if you allow me, I'll tell you. Okay. And they would come, they would chant, they would take a little box. We had a meditation box, and they'd become devotees and keep coming back, right? From problem, from breakup, from difficulties to devotees. Oh, I like that, difficulties to devotees. All right. So basically, what do people share? Anything that is brag-worthy, right? Something that makes them tell others, oh, you want to watch this? Oh, this is so cool. Oh, this is going to make you cry. Or this is going to make you laugh. Or this is going to make you angry. Watch it. This is awesome. I tried it. It worked for me. It'll work for you too. So they want that social credit, right? That's why they share. So you have to give them, you have to make them look good towards their friends. That's the kind of content you create that they want to share with others. These are the breakups I have, right? In social media, generally, this is where you see the behavior changes that happen. 18 to 30-year-olds, you can go further, but 18 to 30-year-olds generally are dealing with breakups, money, career. They're not married yet. Post-marriage, there's parenting, health, management, corporate politics, and all of that. 45 to 60, they're dealing with midlife crisis, health issues, relationship issues, loneliness, sometimes, losing their job and not finding another job. Like, these are basic ideas. So once you understand it, now you can say, hey, you know what? I relate to this audience. And then you go on Quora and you see what kind of questions are being asked by these people. And then you understand, this is the kind of content that people are asking a lot and they want an answer. And I have a wonderful Krishna conscious answer to it that I think I can make it relevant. So you answer it on Quora and see how people react. Oh, they reacted well. Now you take that same thing, turn it around a little bit, put it on your Facebook or LinkedIn and on your social media. So with validation, this will work well. This is something people are looking for. And it's kind of like a hack, right? Where you're able to cater to your audience, to their needs and concerns, and share Krishna consciousness. BuzzSumo is another place where you see what kind of content has gone viral, right? So if you search anything, it'll tell you the top 10 articles that have gone viral. So you can see in those articles, how is the headline, what are they talking about? And that might inspire you to find something relevant from your vantage point and creating content around that. Now, Communication is 7% verbal, 38% vocal, and 55% non-verbal, body language and everything else. So when you do text content, it is only the 7% you're using, even if you use emojis and whatnot. When it's vocal content like SoundCloud, you're using a little bit more. But video content is very powerful if you are a good communicator, or if your temple has a good communicator. Use videos, because videos do a lot more than text do. Of course, text in a short way can get something across if you're doing announcements or whatnot. But if you want connection, if you want that personal brand, videos are very, very powerful. Here are the 6 shortcuts of influence, right? So this is actually a 40 years of research that went into a book called Influence by Robert Cialdini, who broke it down into 6 principles. One is reciprocity. And he actually used the Hare Krishnas. He said, the Hare Krishnas at the airport, they would give a flower and people would buy their books, right? It is human nature to reciprocate. You give a gift, you share appreciation, and somebody reciprocates back. Of course, sometimes people don't, but reciprocity. So in social media, you like somebody's content, they will like you back. You appreciate someone, they will appreciate. You wish somebody on their birthday, they will wish you on your birthday, right? So reciprocity. Scarcity, something that you create. Oh, it's just going out. I just have 5 of these left. Would you like some? Authority, right? I'm not like initially what I did, I was bragging about myself, right? I was building authority. So you pay attention. So, that's very important. Like as devotees, we are humble. This is not something we do. And I learned the hard way. I was told, Ajita, don't tell anyone you're an entrepreneur and you're successful and this, that. Just say you work in Chicago. That's it. And that's what I would tell. One day a student asked some other student, like, hey, what's some fun stuff to do in Chicago? I said, oh, ask Ajita Prabhu. He's been living here for a long time. And he's like, oh, he is just a, religious person. He doesn't know anything. I'm like, that's what Dhoti Kurta Tilak does to you, huh? And then, TED Talks and everything else, I changed myself, started wearing, pants, shirt, but tilak, and coming out as an entrepreneur, right? And actually bragging about myself of what I do. 400% increase in our college programs, because Avelo Roy entrepreneur, TEDx speaker is much more attractive than Avelo Roy alumni of Illinois Tech. So it is important that we do a little bit of bragging. We do talk about what we are good at. Not everybody has to be a superstar, but whatever we are good at. I'm an empath. I'm here to, hear you. I'm a life coach. I'm a this, I'm a that, pastoral counseling. Whatever it is that we can give, it is important we create our authority. Then comes consistency. If you are posting on social media, be consistent. Just like in Krishna consciousness, we are consistently loving. We have to be, right? We are consistent in our services. We chant consistently every day. So same thing with social media. If you stop being consistent, the algorithms notice and they're like, oh, this person cannot be relied upon. So their audience will shift to somebody else's audience, right? Likability. You need to be likable. People should smile. Like I had a very big problem. I would speak all these on these videos and I'd be like, totally like very serious face. And one day this girl walks into my office and talks to me and he's like, you're not a bad person. I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, oh, just talk to you. You seem like you're humble and you're nice and you're, likable. I'm like, I don't get you. She's like, in your videos, you never smile. I'm like, huh? And at that time, it's funny, 97% of my audience was men, 3% women. The day I started smiling, everything changed. So you need to be likable, right? So the way you talk, the way you write, the way you sound, you need to be somebody that people can say, oh, this person is not harmful. This person is not looking down on me. This person is not judgmental. They actually care and I can reach out and ask something and not make a fool of myself, right? That's very, very important. To be social, we are just social media is being social on the virtual platform, right? And you will fail. You will learn from it. You will measure it because Facebook will give you insights. Google will give you analytics. YouTube will give you analytics, right? All of these social media platforms, they tell you what time of the day people are reading your articles or videos or whatever else. They'll tell you what age group, how many men, how many women, et cetera, et cetera. So it's important that we measure, we build, we learn. So identify your market, identify who your target is, and go with that. Discovery, intent, conversion, loyalty. That's how this process works. So stop the scroll, start meaningful conversations, and call to action. I'll skip some of these things. Again, if you're doing graphics, be bold, use bold colors, bold fonts, big text, get people's attention. Earn trust, like I said, with credibility, with logic, with conversations, and call to action. Get them to click on your WhatsApp button or donate or volunteer, go to your website. It can be a million different things. And it does take time. So please understand, it won't happen overnight.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Welcome back. I was able to join the fundraising presentation for a short time. I didn't get a chance to jump around to Ajita's, but I know I've heard Ajita give presentations in the past. I'm sure it was very exciting and informative. I know in the fundraising group, nobody wanted to leave. We had an option, push the blue button and you can go back, and everybody stayed to 51 seconds, 49 seconds, 47 seconds. Very, very helpful. I want to give each of our two presenters a chance just to maybe summarize. We've got about 5 minutes, just 3 quick things you'd like to reinforce with the people you've spoken to, or those who didn't hear from you. What are the 3 takeaways you'd like them to know?
Okay, I'll just go first. Ajit Prabhu looks like he's waiting. Okay, 3 quick things. Learn the needs, interests, and concerns of your own congregation and the donors or potential donors you're approaching. The more you're in tune with what they're looking for, the more you'll be able to touch their hearts, the more you'll be able to inspire them, because everybody wants to give. And we have the product, we have Srila Prabhupada and everything Prabhupada taught. So the more we aligned with that, the more successful we'll be with our fundraising ventures, our fundraising programs, and so on. And let us give up a fear of reaching out to people, because we are giving them an opportunity to be Krishna conscious. And so whether it's fundraising, whether it's sharing anything else in Krishna consciousness, we have to just be aligned with that message. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Great. Ajita Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, I went a little longer than expected, that it was cut off right in the middle of my presentation. But what I was just ending with was, now that we know how to stop them, how to, from scrolling, we understand what it takes to get them to like us, build trust, communicate, and, all of this comes in just being social, being likable for, virtually, and being relevant. So I'll just quickly share my screen. So if anybody wants to ask questions, they can schedule a 15-minute session by going to aveloroy.com/contact or WhatsApp this number, or connect with me on social media. I'm the only Avelo Roy in this entire world. So I'll be happy to take your questions and guide you through it. And if you need any help with social media, I have a team that can help you as well. And I'm very sorry I took longer than expected, but I'm glad you guys liked it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, and Madingo Paul has his contact information also there in the chat. And I know the devotees that attended the fundraising presentation, it really was excellent. There was a lot of questions about, well, what do you do? People are being, multiple donors are asking them at the same time. And how are they going to remain inspired? So there was a lot of very practical discussions also in the fundraising discussion about that. And I want to especially thank Ajita because he's talking to us from Calcutta. So right now it's 11 o'clock at night, if I'm doing the math properly.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, much appreciated. And thanks to both of you. So on behalf of everybody, our Dandavats and our gratitude, really very, very practical presentations. And I think one thing really, Sunevan, these are examples. I'm looking at True, of course, it was really as a member of my generation who really showed how to get things done with starting with nothing, following the footsteps of Brigham Young. He went to Utah with nothing and, built the beautiful temple. We see in the background. He's got the biggest, holy events in the whole world, etc. And I just want to mention that Ajita and Managopal Prabhu are examples, and so many of the devotees that presented here. We have levels of expertise and ability and capacities that our movement did not have the first 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 or 20 or maybe even 30 years. We had a lot of inspiration, a lot of very smart people, a lot of people willing to sacrifice their lives, which we still do. But in addition to that, there are devotees with tremendous levels of expertise, and we should all be in the habit of taking advantage of that, because it really is a wealth of Prabhupada's movement, and it's exciting. I'll just mention, sometimes I give seminars of this, that, and a lot of times young people will say something like, I wish I was there in the pioneering years. And I'm always so stunned when they say that, because they think, what are you talking about? The first 500 years from now are going to be the pioneering years. And there's just practically unlimited things that can be done to spread Krishna consciousness. It's not like we've become so big, there's this huge government bureaucracy. You can't move without checking with 8 different agencies to see who's already got it going. So we have tremendous opportunity for progress and expanding our movement, and wonderful resources too. So Ajita and Managopal Prabhu, we are 2 examples of those resources. Thank you. And thank you for making yourselves available to others. We're grateful for that.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Prabhu, I wanted to ask, Ajita Prabhu didn't get to finish his presentation, so I felt like hanging, like what's going on?
Okay, Jita, can't have you finish it here. What do they do to get the rest?
Like I said, we can schedule a one-on-one session. I mean, I'll tell you what I was going to say is basically every temple can hire a social media manager or have a social media manager. And I'll just share the last screen that I couldn't share. It might benefit everyone. Just give me like 30 seconds, Anutama Prabhu. I'm sorry.
No, you got it. No problem.
Yeah, that's the last slide basically that I couldn't share. So these are the tasks for the social media manager. Have them take pictures and videos, encourage devotees to take selfies, share content that the temple is creating, and on a weekly basis, have a schedule of content, right? Video, images, quotes, social media, lives, and have a certain keywords and hashtags so that people can find you. The Hare Krishna temple in Houston, or Hare Krishna temple in Chicago, or wherever you are, have certain hashtags and keywords that you want to be found for. And that's the kind of person you're looking for. Somebody who is basically, have human emotions, knows how to use power words, resourceful, adaptive, basically a social butterfly. That's a slide that I couldn't present. Thank you, Prabhu.
Vedasa, are you happy now, Prabhu? We can't move on if you're not happy.
You're muted.
You're muted.
There's a small part of me that wanted to see him go through another 3 more minutes of the last bit of his presentation. But if the Vaishnavas want to move on, then I just go with the flow.
Veda, you can contact him. He won't give you 3 minutes. He'll give you 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And I think also we're making notes as we go through. We mentioned in the beginning, Kaladri Prabhu, over the year, based on a lot of topics that were brought up here, organized specific Zoom conferences. I think at GTU did one last year, if I remember correctly. So I'm sure that, GT can be in touch with Kaladri and Kumar and can organize specific events. We're going to call the next one Veda Sara Continued. Okay, you already got a really catchy name for the next one that Ajita is going to organize. But in all seriousness, Veda, there'll be follow-ups. We, because of the limited time, we may not get into all the details, but definitely there will be additional follow-ups. Okay, so, and I know Ajita is very, very generous with his time. This is not a one-off. He'll talk to us once and he's too busy. He's very, very generous with his time.
We can do like 2-hour sessions maybe later on, and have a 2-hour session. This is probably going to be interactive 2-hour session on fundraising. We can also do, and this way we can do very slowly and deeply. I think it'll benefit, and it can be to the whole audience who's attended here and whoever wants to come. So we can do that.
Absolutely.
I'm not married, so I have a lot of time.
I am married, so I have even more time.
Okay, so we have one infomercial, very important one. Before we take our break, we're actually scheduled for lunch at 12:40. So we may need a minute or two longer than that, but let's see if we can finish up on time. Radha Bhakti Dasi is here to talk about the mentorship program that she's worked with and how we can start one at our temples. So Radha Bhakti, I see you're featured on the screen here. We'll turn it over to you. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everybody. Please accept my most humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I can't believe I have to follow that and be before lunch. This is the worst possible position you could have put me in, Kumari. Thank you so much. She's my sister-in-law, so I'm allowed to make fun of her. May I please share my screen, Kumari? And just while you're sorting that out, I just want to say there are so many faces here, names of people that I love so deeply. I'm so grateful to be part of your esteemed group. And yes, thank you very much for having me. So in October of 2020, the Bhakti Center created a mentorship program. And this was really, the Bhakti Center is really good about following His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj's instructions on creating a loving environment amongst devotees. So this was one of the primary impetuses behind creating this program. I have about 11 slides and 5 minutes, so forgive me, I'm going to speak quite quickly, but we will have a follow-up session for anybody who's interested in creating a mentorship system in your yatra. So first and foremost, why a mentorship program? As we mentioned, I'm sure everybody on this call understands the need to provide care for one another, to provide a place where people can ask questions, to create a sense of community, and also to have a culture of accountability. And I think that that's been a theme throughout this weekend, that we are in dire need of more accountability in our institution, and a mentorship program is a wonderful way of doing that. And yet these two things are not contrary to each other, because accountability equals love. And that's truly what we believe. So I will take you through really quickly what the mentorship program looks like for a participant. And then again, we can follow up with some questions on a future session if anybody is interested. So meet Victoria. Victoria is 28. She is new to New York City. She's been coming to the Bhakti Center for a little while. She started coming to the yoga programs. Now she comes to kirtans. She did a couple of community groups, and now she's chanting 4 rounds, and she is steady. So please note, the Bhakti Center has a bit of a journey map for people who start to come and are new to Bhakti. First, they begin with kirtans, then they join community groups, and once they start chanting 4 rounds, they become eligible to become mentees in our program. Super high-level overview of the program, Victoria's experience. She hears about the program, she registers on the website, she selects her top 3 mentors that she would choose. On the back end, we as a mentorship team check with those mentors that she has selected, see who would like to mentor her. Once a pairing has been made, there are spiritual agreements that are signed between Victoria and her mentor. Let's say it's Kumari. So Kumari and Victoria have to sign these agreements. So you see accountability is here and weaved throughout the entire program, so that this program cannot slip through the cracks. So once the agreements are signed, 3 months of initial mentorship take place. And after 3 months, we have an accountability coordinator who checks in and makes sure that the Kumari and Victoria are still happy with each other. If they are, wonderful, mentorship continues. Now, the way that our mentorship system works is that the mentor and the mentee are required to meet once a month. And the mentor also creates quarterly sanghas with all of her mentees. So Kumari has 5 mentees. She creates quarterly sanghas where the 6 of them can get together, do something spiritual, do something fun, and have a mini sense of community within the larger community. The mentee also fills out a daily sadhana log, and also the mentors have to attend a quarterly sangha or training with the mentors, with all of the mentors. And so again, accountability is weaved throughout our program. So the mentee's accountability and what they sign up for when they join the program is that they'll be the ones to schedule the calls, so that the mentor is not responsible for scheduling the monthly calls with multiple mentees. The mentee has to fill out their daily sadhana log. They have to attend their monthly one-on-ones with their mentor, and then the quarterly sanghas or meetings with their whole mentorship mini family. And they have to invest in the relationship. Why do we say that? Because oftentimes people think it's cool to invest, to become a mentee, and then they don't sort of follow through. So this is part of their accountability as well. If somebody slips through the cracks, we politely ask them to leave the program so that we can capitalize on the mentor's time. Mentors are expected to have mentors as well. We highly encourage them all to be accountable as well to somebody else. They have to attend at least 3 of the 4 quarterly trainings or sanghas in order to maintain their position. And then, of course, they conduct their one-on-one and group meetings every quarter and every month. Our sanghas have turned into beautiful meetings with all of the mentors. The mentors have created a bit of a family. When COVID hit, we actually extended our program to be across North America. So people are welcome to join our program, both as mentors and as mentees. That said, we do see the value in having local mentors and mentees as well. And so this presentation is to let you know, A, you're welcome to join our program. And B, it's really cool to have your own local program as well for lots of reasons. Here are some sample topics we have conducted in our trainings. We've had guest speakers come in, and we are teaching people not just what you might hear in regular programs about how to be a mentor, but these are actually corporate courses that many of our mentors have access to that we're giving for free to our mentors, so that there's proper training. There's proper training on coaching methodologies. There's proper training on psychology and the mind and ways to sort of bring that into your mentorship relationships as well. So it's a really well thought out program. In order for a program like this to work out, we think you need to have 5 people. That's key, 5 dedicated people. Here's how we organize those people. If anybody's interested to learn more, we can talk about different ways to potentially organize them. But you need a program.
Yeah, really, this guy was so good.
You have a program coordinator who's in charge of project management. You have an accountability coordinator. So please note, once again, one role that is specifically dedicated to make sure people are doing what they're supposed to do so that nothing slips through the cracks. We have a marketing and comms communicator, a mentor care coordinator who will be planning the sanghas with the mentors. And also we have quarterly calls with the mentors to see how they're doing, give them some care as well. And we recently invited an initiations coordinator to join the team as well, because it just sort of made sense given what we do. I know that was so fast. If you'd like to learn more, we're really happy to help you set up a program in your temple. Please contact me with questions. And thank you to all the people in Toronto, Chopati, and the Manor who created mentorship systems where we really based ours off of and just added some additional infrastructure. So again, that was probably the fastest I've ever did an overview of this program. Please do feel free to contact me with more questions. And thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was really wonderful. And you did squeeze it between the last Power Pack presentation and lunch, but yours was also very Power Packed. There's all kinds of comments in chat about how important it is. And can you put up there, if you haven't done so, maybe in the chat, so it'll be there, because the slide was there how to contact you, but also in the chat as well. Okay. And again, just remind everybody, don't feel frustrated, feel excited that we're learning about all these different programs. We only get together officially with all of us twice a year. So we want to give you all a lot of interesting opportunities and insights on things that are happening that we can take advantage of. We don't expect everybody to go out tomorrow and be able to jumpstart all of this. I do want to, just before we go to lunch, remind us of one thing, which is sometimes as administrators, there's a tendency to think, wow, the first thing we heard about was great, I'm going to do it. The second one, yeah, I want to try to do that too. The third one, I don't know if I have time to do. The fourth one's like, forget it, I can't do any of this. This is not the idea. We've got people in your downlines. You've got all kinds of people you can delegate to. That's such an important principle for all of us. So don't just be thinking if you've got time, think about who might have time, who's excited in the community, in the congregation, and don't necessarily think, the same old people you depended on for years. Sometimes, the new college student might be excited to take up the environmental program, and some lady with 10 kids who's home super busy, but she may not have time to help with the mentorship program, etc. So please consider all the people in your community take advantage. It's time for lunch, everybody. Kumari Kunti eats fast. So she planned the schedule. You have 35-minute break. You can leave your computers on if you like. Feel free to come back with your pizza. I heard a lot of comments about pizza. I think Ajita was talking about pizza. I don't know, Ajita, you're gonna send some to everybody's house? You're like the social media genius. You can disperse pizza to everybody right now?
It was Madan Gopal who promised pizza.
Madan Gopal, he was the fundraiser. He's gonna pay for the pizza that Ajita is gonna arrange. I think that's what was gonna happen there.
Yeah.
So we have 35 minutes. So we're gonna come back at 1:15. There's a couple other really good, there's a session on intimate partner abuse. We're going to go back and deal with some of the negative stuff. A great presentation by Braj Bihari, unity and diversity, how to cooperate even when our views don't align. wonderful book distribution video from Vaishya Shekhar Prabhu, who's excitement personified. And then a panel on Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus, what's happening with Vaishnavi Diksha Gurus around the world and in North America now. And then we're going to end with the presentation on leadership misconduct in the ministry, what's happening there with Naveen. So lots of good stuff coming up in the afternoon. So enjoy your quick lunch, 33 minutes now, and we'll see everybody back shortly. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.
Dhira dhira jana priya Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Prabhu Premamritam Banidhi Dhira Dhira Jana Priya Priya Karo Nemar Karamu Pujito Chaitanya Kripa Bharau Bhuvi Bhuva Bhara Vahan Tarak Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghujugo Jiva Gopalaka Bande Rupa Sanatana Raghu